My name is Ola Maciejewska. I am an artist, choreographer and a dancer. Figury przestrzenne, the piece that I will present here, comes from an ongoing research. And this ongoing research started from the serpentine dances invented by Loie Fuller. And it's a work, it's of my first work, Loie Fuller research, that I started in 2011 while doing a research, an academic research on the presence of materials in dance. So here we are zooming in the subject on dance and materiality. Dance and perhaps the sculptural. So that research also was connected to alternative modes of movement production, which focused mainly on how the body, how bodies co-create movement, or how the bodies are imprinted by things, concepts, materials. So the first point was to deconstruct the serpentine dances, something that had I guess, a very, very big imprint on my body, and then start deconstructing my own embodiment, my own patterns, personal patterns. Pina Bausch, Yvonne Rainer said to be moved by something other than oneself. So it's more like being moved by something rather than moving, or we can say also we dance movements or we dance with the movement. It's that kind of subtle relationship or differentiation. We have to count in the book The Second Body of Daisy Hildyard, Simon's 40 dance constructions, Body in Space, and the sculptural, and the process itself of embodying, disembodying, incorporating and disincorporating bodies, human ones and non-human ones. Figury przestrzenne was made during COVID. So I guess, as many artists, I was working in all possible spaces, starting from a kitchen to my living room, to outdoors, to a parking lot and a forest. So this piece was made in spaces. I traced that as a kind of a movement of deconfining dance from the black box, where Western European dance is kind of confined to. The piece is very slow. If I would enter in space, I would see a body that moves very, very slowly. And I would have to zoom on details. And I would have to zoom in and zoom out. Almost like being here and now and zooming so far, or having this image of Earth, this overview of the Earth. So you see, it's like zooming out of space and zooming in a tiny little details. It all takes time. I'm using some techniques, some methods to produce sound. And these sounds, I tried to do an active or physical space recordings of the spaces that I was working in. It's another space, a cavity, vocal cavity, body cavities. And in that cavities, yes, sound resonates differently. And I guess it's this very, again, spatial relation to sound. And I needed to add this, this word przestrzenne, as it's a word that alludes, it means a space, but it alludes to a sound in space that it's very, very dear to me, or I'm connected to, that sounds a bit like whispering. And that kind of land of whispers, where I come from, needed to be also part of this, let's say, portable cavity that this piece is generated from a body, my body. Body as a space, body as a space full of memories, full of working with sounds, working with language, letters, compositions, sound compositions that create this body. So body as a dense construction in that way. So sometimes the body defines the space, sometimes the space defines the body, sometimes the space and the body becomes one. So there are these different spatial aspects to the work, visual but also audible, that guided me through this kind of mapping of spaces.